for that. But yeah, sports are pretty good. I did volleyball, but then got too lazy, so I stopped. Clubs, there's like a lot of clubs. There's like cinema club and chess club and math club and science and Taylor Swift and like, you know, just a lot of things. Students can create clubs if they want. They just need a teacher to, you know, be there and use their room and stuff. I think that's the only criteria for making a club. And of course, there's ones already out there. Usually they meet like once a week. Some of them are like once a month if it's like National Honor Society or whatever. I think so. Yeah, ultimately the transition or whatever, I don't think is that difficult. Tell your kids don't be scared of it. And the older kids are not that mean. Especially if you're an older looking kid, if you look like a little baby. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now Pat Trailer's gonna come up.
All right, everybody, how you doing today?
Wait, now, okay, you gotta be over there so we can pick you up
Oops.
on the
All right.
live stream.
I prefer not the mic, so I'm going to speak with my voice. Hello, welcome to Midtown High School. Great to see you all. Thank you for coming here tonight. All right, let's get this going. So my name is Malachi Trailer. I am a 12th grader, and I would like to say the transitioning part, make sure you stay on top of it, please. My mom, we're going through the criteria 8th grade year, getting ready for spring coming in August. We thought we had everything, but as soon as I came here my first day, I have to stay in the cafeteria room because I didn't have all my paperwork that I needed to so I can come to school. So please check over your work. Ms. Levis can help you out with that. Just give her a call, email, anything, all the above, please. So your kids will not miss anything from first day of school. First day of school is really important. It's first impression, new community, new students, new teachers. You know, you want them to get their first impression that first day, so please. For me, transitioning from middle to high school, not that bad. I thought it was gonna be like the movies, like High School Musical, something like that. That's what I hoped for, which was really because we had pep rallies, you know, we had concerts, dance, you know, we had all the really cool team stuff. Ooh,
Talk about what you're involved in.
all right. All right, so what I'm involved in, obviously orchestra, I've been playing since the 3rd grade, started from Centennial up until now, Midtown. So that's 8 years, I'm going 9. Let's see, I did FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. I did TSA, so Technology Student Association, ASL, American Sign Language, and I also do lacrosse as well. I just started playing my 10th grade year. I'm going to 12th. It's a really fun sport. So make sure your kids try to, you know, get into something new, something they don't know that they can be really good at. Give them that experience. Help them, you know, got their way through it. You know, still babies, but you know, they want to grow fast. You know, kids just have a lot of rush. For me, it was a lot of experience that I really was glad to have someone that I didn't know, but they recommended me to do all these different things because it helps you build your portfolio, helps your kids build resumes for college. People love to see all that, you know, so please get them involved with all Midtown, whatever they have to offer.
CCC.
And also go to the CCC. The CCC is a room where you can tell your kid to go to for college advisement. They have one-on-one meetings for every month, but I go every day because, you know, from Common App or My Coalition, they don't transfer everything. You think you have everything, but it's not going to transfer over. So please, your college advisors will help your students throughout the whole college process. I love going there. I built a relationship with the 2 ladies, Miss Makoha and Miss M or Miss Murago. Lovely people, and I thank them every day that I have the opportunity to speak with them, help me with my college transition. I got accepted to 3 universities so far. I got accepted to Lane College, which is in Tennessee. I got accepted to Williamsburg, Richard Bland. That's in Williamsburg, I'm sorry. and I got accepted to the University of Arizona. So please push your kids, use the applications. Thank you. No, I got one half done. My goal is to become a linguist. I want to study in different languages. I would like to do a study abroad. Thank you, Ms. Love. Thank you. That's my guy, my Spanish teacher from 9th to 10th grade. Amazing guy. Please make sure your kids make sure they have a good preference of what language they want to speak, or possibly, most people don't like Latin. That's what I hear from my friends. So Spanish is a great thing. I'm striving for that. So that's what I hope to do, study abroad. I am going to Spain next fall. That's my thing. I want to go all my 4 years. My mom's like, don't leave me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta grow up, I want to experience. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity, and make sure you get different resources, as Ms. Blevins or the college counselors from the CCC to ask about merit-based scholarships, different types of tuitions, all that, so you can get prepared for the next phase of your kids' life. Thank you.
Thank you, Malachi. Okay, Cooper Cavalier, 11th grade.
Hello, my name is Cooper Cavalier, and I'm in 11th grade here at Midtown High School. And my story is a little different. I actually came from private school. And so coming into 9th grade, I already knew some people, but for the most part, I was still new to most people and didn't know everyone. But it was a very welcoming environment coming into the new school. And I met a lot of great people who I really like and I'm still friends with to this day. And first off, there's many different classes you can take, and there's a great big selection for classes that you can take freshman year, such as like Latin, AP Human, and and more. There's a ton of great classes. And if I had to give tips on what to do, I would say it helps a lot to stay organized with all your classes and make sure that you're turning all your homework in and getting good grades so you can keep your GPA up. And yeah, also I just make sure to study for all the tests so I can keep doing well and keep my grades up. And also a big part of my freshman year was playing sports. I played football and I played tennis, and I'm still I've been on the tennis team both of my 2 years at Midtown. But when I played football my freshman year, it was really fun. I met a lot of new friends from it, but I also broke my right arm. So I had to write with my left arm for a lot of my freshman year, which was kind of difficult. But overall, I really enjoyed my freshman year. It was good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Ms. Mitchell, 11th grade.
Hello, welcome to Midtown High School. I'm Zaria Mitchell. I'm a junior here, and I'm just going to talk about my transition. So my transition was pretty smooth. I had a lot of older friends, and I wasn't afraid to make new friends here. So that was pretty smooth for me. I've learned that communication is key. Stay ahead of the game, and also stay ahead on your grades and stuff. Homework. I really didn't get too much homework, but if I did, it was they gave us a certain time, but it was a good time, so 11:59 or something like that. So that shouldn't be a problem for your kids. My teachers treated me well, welcoming arms. I could go to them for anything. Miss B, where'd she go? Miss B, she was my teacher. I think I could probably go to any teacher that I've had previously for a letter of recommendation, just because I'm a great student. I stay on top of my grades, etc. I wish I knew more about the ABA program my freshman year. It stands for Atlanta Virtual Academy. It lets you get ahead. So if I was in a freshman class, I could take a sophomore class after finishing that one, but during the summer if they wanted to. And my extracurriculums, I participated in cheer my freshman year. I'm a basketball manager now. I participated in BSU volleyball club. And yeah, I just advise you guys to tell your,
ROTC.
I advise you guys to tell your kids, like coming in as freshmen, sometimes it can be hard, but just don't be afraid to like open up and like ask questions, like ask people to take you to a certain class because the school is really big. So they might get confused with that. And also try to convince them to like join into clubs, extracurriculum activities, because it'll really pay off in the end. I participated in ROTC. I went to Emmett Middle School, as I said before, and I participated there. And then my 8th grade year, I was class leader. So I decided to take ROTC more seriously during the summer for my freshman year. In the next 2 years, I still was class leader. So then this year I became the youngest staff member of Midtown's battalion. And yeah, it's a good thing to join. It teaches you a lot about self-confidence, discipline, etc. So yeah.
Okay, so, oh, they can't see me anyway. I just realized when we're live streaming, they can only see the PowerPoint, the Google Slides. So Atlanta Public School graduation requirements. So satisfy attendance requirements, complete the required high school coursework, which we'll go over, take the end of course milestones test for certain subjects, and then we still have that community service that's left with, and we expect your students to have to do 75 hours. So as a freshman, they're going to take 9th grade literature. They're going to take algebra, geometry. It just depends on what they come in with. But algebra is the first course in this sequence that is required, which Ms. Fuller will talk about. Biology, and then American government civics. It is required, and Mr. Rodenbaugh will talk about this, and Mr. Wharton. Some students double up and take the AP Human Geography and the civics. Some just put civics off till later. Again, it's one of those things where you have to kind of pick and choose when you do the pathway selection. So Atlanta Public Schools required coursework. Additional course options in 9th grade, the foreign language. We offer French, Spanish, Latin, and sign language. Health and physical education, it is required that they have one semester of personal fitness, a semester of just a general PE, and then a semester of health. Pathway and electives, you will again get to select these when you do the pathway selection, which will take place at the end of January. Electives and pathways are other classes that students take in their schedule, such as art, music, business, journalism, etc. Construction is a new one that we are adding this next year, so we're real excited about that. All students do take 8 classes each semester. When a student takes 3 related elective courses in a sequence, she or he has completed a pathway. So for example, but she's not here, she left. Miss Mitchell, JROTC. So she has taken, this is her 3rd year in JROTC. So she will have completed that pathway, okay? All students must complete 1 pathway. Most students, just without even thinking about it, students complete more than 1 pathway. It just kind of happens when you select electives. And here are a list of our pathways. You can see we have quite a few. A lot, actually. And construction is a huge one, okay? And this is something we are adding this upcoming year, which we are very excited about. And Ms. Tanner will be talking about that in a little bit. Pathway and elective selection. So students who attend Howard, APS charter, and private schools. So that's basically anybody that is zoned to attend Midtown High School. Parents and students will have 1 option to request pathways, electives, and AP Human Geography courses. They will submit it online via the Rising 9th Grade All-in-One. There is a link there. There's a website. You will receive an immediate notification once you do this. Receive an electronic copy of all of your requests. You will be able to make changes. You will notice electronic notifications. If you don't have access to the internet, please reach out to your 8th grade counselor, and they will be able to help you complete this in a timely manner. You see it opens on the 21st at 8 p.m. and then it will close about a week later on the 4th. So let me just tell you a little bit. Mr. Vincent created this last year, and it was a huge success. It is a one-stop shop. So when you go to this link on the website, and I'm going to walk you through it, it has everything you need to know. Okay, if you want to find out what school registration is, for example, that's something Malachi was talking about, the district proof of residency. You must register your child for 9th grade. Just because they're in 8th grade in a feeder school, it doesn't matter. Every student must go through the registration process. Completing the pathway is not registration. You must follow the guidelines and present your proof of residency. Very, very, very important. If you want to know how to create your child's schedule with a likelihood of getting 90% of what you really want, this will give you that information. Why we need your social security number. The senior counselors, the other 3 counselors who work with seniors, it is critical that we do have a social security number because it falls into scholarships, and it's really important that we do have that. And this will explain, on this website, you will get your explanation. What a credit is, how it translates to your child's transcript, what pathways we offer. There are videos, there's explanations, what AP Human Geography is, even though we have Mr. Wharton and he is going to speak. It is a way for you to find out more about that, what the pathway selection form includes. And guess what? You go on to this website off of the main Midtown website, there is a practice on there. So you can go on there and practice your pathway selection so that before you have to actually do it, you have an understanding of what it looks like. We also list the sports clubs, organizations, where to find versions of course catalogs is also on there. What parent portal is, if you don't know, if you're coming from outside APS and you're not part of Infinite Campus, this tells you how. You can sign up for the nightly news, which comes out once a week on Sundays, and answers to facts such as how do students access honors courses. All of that is a one-stop shop. It's that website below. The best thing to do is go to the Midtown High School website. You're going to hover on parents and students. Then you're going to see where it says new students. You're going to click that. It takes you straight here. This is everything that you're going to need. Okay, students with IEPs. Ms. Chittister, if you will just stand up real quick. Okay, this is Ms. Chittister. She is our special ed lead teacher, and she will take your child from middle school into high school and make it seamless. It's really important that you do know that. Her email is up here so that if you have questions in particular in regards to this, she is your point of contact. So please make sure that you reach out to her if you have any questions. Okay? Yeah, please.
Sorry.
No, hey, come on up.
Oh, okay. And I just wanted to add too that I do work closely with the CELT at all the APS schools. And so especially at Howard, I'm planning on having a parent coffee in the spring to discuss, if there's more specific questions in regards to your child's IEP. But, if your child doesn't currently attend an APS school, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I would be happy to meet with any of you if you have any questions about that process before they begin high school.
Okay, and Miss Maxwell is next up. And Miss Maxwell takes care of the SST process and the 504, and I'm going to let her say a few words.
I just want to let you know that we have a very strong system.
Keep going. There you go.
Golly. I'm Trish Maxwell. We have a very strong support team here, together with our counselors, our social worker, our graduation coaches, administration, and teachers. We are here to provide the support that your student needs. If they have a 504 plan in place, be assured it will, from Howard, it will transfer over. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm very easy to contact, email, call, text. I'd be happy to answer individual questions. If other forms of student support are needed, that's what I'm here for too, hospital homebound and any other layer of support beyond what we give at the tier 1 level. So thank you so much.
Okay, additional student supports. We have, as Malachi said, the College and Career Center, where we do have 2 individuals that do nothing but talk to the students directly, one-on-one, about college applications, colleges, everything that it goes with. It is amazing. We have parent volunteers. We have universities and colleges that come in and do presentations for our students that they can attend. It is a wealth of knowledge. College advisors are associated with the CCC. Graduation coaches, as I said, we have 2. We have 1 for 9th and 10th and 1 for 11th and 12th. Grady Writing Center, just a support system. Great. Midtown Writing Center, Midtown Math Center, after school tutorials, Chris 180. Chris 180 is a counseling service that is partnered with Midtown High School. And they do offer those services on site. So that way you don't have to, if your child needs some counseling, it's a way for you to schedule appointments or not, because when they're here, you don't have to worry about coming and picking them up. It's a great service. So again, we do have that. And then the Student Support Center, that's the counseling suite in the new A building. And if you haven't been in, it's amazing. And located in that building, graduation coaches, all the counselors, Miss Maxwell. So it's a great place to find support for your students. Okay, school profile. So what you can do is, this is that sheet we've already sent home to you once in the mail, but I will go ahead and tell you we've already updated it since, and we've added more information on there. The website is down here. I will tell you again, if you go to the Midtown website, you click on guidance and you click on downloaded forms to download, you'll find it. It's like the 3rd one down. So it's right there. Co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities. As the student said, we have a ton of clubs and activities. If your student is interested in something, we likely have it. If we don't, we're okay with starting something new if they do the process. But again, it's really important, as they all said, to get involved in something, whether it is athletics or whether it's just a club. Get involved. So very important. Don't allow your child to walk in here and walk out when the bell rings. They need to own a piece of Midtown High School. And again, here's the link to go to the extracurricular opportunities. Okay, now we're going to get to the teachers and the content areas. So I am going to turn it over to Ms. Villapanda.
Good evening. I'm Ms. Villapando, or Ms. V. I'm sorry I put it. So I teach 9th grade ELA. I also sponsor our literary magazine. I run some of our ESOL courses, and I'm co-English department chair. So with that, in 9th grade, we come across, okay. In regards to 9th grade ELA, students will examine texts ranging from ancient world epics to modern graphic novels. In doing all of that, we will be emphasizing various genres, authors, cultures, and history surrounding each piece of literature. They will interpret, analyze, evaluate, and even critique the text. So the question I often get from parents every year is, what are we reading and what are the writing, like what is the writing focus, right? So this year so far, we've read American Born Chinese. We're wrapping up Lord of the Flies. We will read March, which is a graphic novel by John Lewis. And then we will finish off with Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. In regards to our writing focus, we do look at developing the narrative. We also have argumentative, persuasive essays and informational explanatory essays. With all that, the overall goal of the course is to expose students to informational texts, short stories, novels, and dramatic literature in order to develop their skill in the subject. That's all I got. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I am Ms. Fuller, and I teach math, and I also teach AP Computer Science Principles and AP Computer Science A. I teach a special group of math students, ninth graders, who have elected to take 2 years of math in 1 year. So first semester, I do Algebra 2, and then second semester, I do geometry. And that particular class is on a 4x4 schedule, meaning that I see them every single day. I do not see them every other day. So I see the babies all year long, every single day. This allows students to be able to have a chance to take AP Calculus B, C, if they choose to. That's past my speed. But I also teach AP Computer Science A. I know in AP Computer Science Principles, and I know students up here were talking about joining clubs. We have recently just started the first year of the Computer Science Honor Society. So we had our second meeting today, which was pretty awesome. What are the different ways they can come in? Algebra or geometry?
Algebra, geometry.
Or the double math? Or if they take something over the summer, right?
Correct.
Right. I have a couple students who I had in computer science who came in as ninth graders taking pre-calculus. So that was different. I think that's my spiel.
So with just to piggyback on what Ms. Fuller said, the sequence of math is algebra, geometry, algebra 2, then a higher level math after that. Okay, so just want to be clear. So to get into the double math, they have to have had algebra.
I'm Michelle. I teach science. From a science perspective, they have to have 4 credits to graduate. The first credit that they will earn is biology. All ninth graders will be enrolled in biology. It is a state requirement. So biology is actually the only science course that has an end of course exam. That is mandated by the Department of Ed. We don't write the test here. APS does not write the test. So if it doesn't go well, they will get a second chance to take it until it does go super well. The test itself, we do a really good job of preparing students to take the test over the course of the year. We have 5 units to give them a conceptual understanding of the interaction of cells all the way to ecosystems. So we do 3 units in the fall and 2 units in the spring. When they take the end of course exam in the spring semester, it will be 20% of their final grade that semester. But even if they don't do so well in that test, they can still pass the course. All sophomores will either be routed into chemistry or environmental science. Juniors all take physics, and seniors have a plethora of options, including AP science courses. Anything else?
That's good. Great.
What else do you do here?
What do I do here? I'm the prom coordinator, which freshmen cannot attend. I'm also the boys lacrosse coach, and kind of like the Swiss Army knife. What do you want me to do? I'll do it. So
hello everyone, my name is Chris Rodenbaugh, and I teach a couple different government classes here at Midtown High School. The one that's most relevant for ninth graders is the civics requirement. I call it, it's American government / civics, so they're both the same course. You'll hear from Chris Wharton in a second, who teaches AP Human Geography. But I will say for ninth graders in social studies, you do have some choices. So the American government civics class is a state requirement. You can take AP government later on, and that could also count as your government requirement. I teach in a class that is not AP government. It's called AP comparative government, which sometimes parents and families get a little confused. AP comparative government is a social studies elective. And that is a government class that if students really like their American government class, that it's a really wonderful extension that allows students to compare different governments. It's like a comparative politics 101 course that covers Nigeria, Mexico, the UK, Russia, Iran, and is really a wonderful class. For the American government class, I view trying to teach politics through the lens of current events as often as possible. So trying to start in the present and then go back to the past and understand why we do the things that we do. I care a lot about getting students more educated, involved in elections. We've been talking about our runoff elections. We're talking about the general election. So hopefully you all voted in the runoff and had conversations at home. And if not this year, you will next year if your student is in my class. I sponsor 2 clubs here focused on political activism and civic engagement. One was started before I came here. I've been here for 3 years now. It was called Atlanta Students Advocating for Pedestrians, trying to increase safety and awareness about getting around the city if you're not in a car. And then the other one is called Midtown High Votes. And we are working to try to get to 100% of our student body registered to vote and promoting engagement in different issues here in our city. So I would love to have your students join that next year, no matter what social studies class they join as freshmen. Thanks so much.
I didn't expect that.
I know.
Okay, welcome. Hi, I'm Chris Wharton. I teach AP Human Geography. This is our 6th year of having AP Human Geography here at Midtown High School. If you're not familiar with AP, it's basically their college level courses, which can seem a bit intimidating when you're a 9th grader. I like to call my course the boot camp for AP. It's challenging. A lot of students are learning to study for the very first time because the volume of information, the complexity of it necessitates them to do so. My job is to try to transition them into this next level of academic rigor. And so I will give them lots of advice, and if they take it, they'll do really, really well. AP courses, if you take the AP exam at the end of the year, which the vast majority of our students do, if they score well, they have the potential to earn college credit. And it's kind of an amazing thing to earn your first college credits as a 9th grader. So my course is Human Geography. It's basically all about how humans use space on Earth. We study population demographics around the world. We look at the movement of people, migration, refugees. We look at politics, border policy, how states interact with each other and why they do so. How a state being in one place, state meaning country in this case, could have an advantage over a state being in this location, that kind of thing. We look at culture, the geography of religion, language, lots of current events. I can pull almost any headline from the news and pull it into my class that day. It's very relevant, it's very current with the world. We're doing political geography now. We just did a lesson on gerrymandering. We're talking about electoral voting districts, very relevant to what's going on today. Let's see, what else can I say about that? On the website that Ms. Plecky was telling you about, if you go to the link on the Rising 9th grade page, there's more information about the course. There's a video of me talking, but I guess you've got that already. Also a letter that I put together about, okay, so this is how you might want to prepare to come into it. For example, if you're an 8th grader and you're thinking, I don't really know where the countries are, they might want to work on that a little bit. They don't need to know where every single thing in the world is, but they should have a general orientation to where things are. But that letter's there, gives you more details, some ideas for reading and things like that. I also am the sponsor for the Midtown GSA, our Gender Sexuality Allowance, formerly our Gay Straight Alliance. And I'm also the Quiz Bowl sponsor. So if you have a child that is full of useful/useless facts and information about everything, send them out for Quiz Bowl. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Aquiles Loero, and I am one of the Spanish teachers here at Midtown High School, where we have 4 different languages. We have Latin, French, Spanish, and American Sign Language, and we offer the 4 levels: Spanish 1, 2, 3, 4, French as well, Latin as well as AP. And in my classes, I always try to bring the experience of learning a second language, how important it is. And that's what brought me here from Venezuela 10 years ago. So I always, and all the Spanish teachers here and French and all the teachers here were stressing on that, how important it is, especially nowadays, important to learn a second language, okay, matter French or Spanish. So, well, we also have clubs. Latin has a very strong club, as well as French. And the Spanish, we are working on that, but I also included a lot of activities in, throughout the school year, like Cinco de Mayo, so different Day of the Dead. We also have the national, prepare students for the national Spanish exams. So we have different activities throughout the year. So hopefully, and we have a strong notebook that my students, they don't like so much sometimes. But yes, so Malachi left Malachi, but probably they will need that wherever they go. So trying to really have a strong foreign language department. So thank you.
Hey, good evening. It's great to have everybody in the house. I'm John Brandhorst. I'm the chair of the Fine and Performing Arts Department here. I've been here at Midtown and Grady for 22 years. So I've seen a lot of transitions, and it's been a great honor for me to see these things. One thing that people have talked about the entire time, aside from all the other changes, is this whole child. You've heard the phrase, I'm sure, but what is that? The whole child. The arts department, plus all the other things that are not the core, right? Morton, you're talking about gerrymandering and the maps, this idea of the core academics, and then everything else, the specials, these things. Visual arts falls into this. And so for my situation, for visual arts, for the band, for the performing arts, your kids are tremendously imaginative and do marvelous, marvelous things, but maybe haven't had a formal platform to do it yet. We are in place here to embrace that imagination and to take all that effort. If your kids are performing with an instrument, you know full well how much has truly been invested in that skill up to this point. So when you get here and you're hit with all these choices to make, this whole child thing involves continuing those interests that you planted the seeds for so long ago. Don't stop playing the trumpet just because you have all these other clubs to do. Don't stop doodling because there's so many things I want to try everything. Don't stop these creative activities that you began so long ago because you want to get the highest GPA possible, take every single AP course possible. Avoid the trap of getting into sort of an academic religion here. You can do it very, very quickly, and there's a lot of pressure to get the mighty GPA up where it belongs, right? Because that's what's going to get your kid into college. In fact, it's not. The thing that gets kids into college is proven consistent participation in collaborative activities. These are the 21st century soft skills that everybody talks about. This is the whole child. And the arts, by definition, require collaboration, elaboration, continuation of interest to go along. They require that empathy and persistence to understand these things at deep levels. These are the 10,000-hour things. You don't get it from taking one class, even though the credits only demand one of the arts, right? It's a tiny little portion of the thing. And so therefore we're led to believe that somehow this is somehow that important. But I can tell you, when you talk to college advisors, they want to see that. They want to see bilingualism. They want to see that they participated in some kind of club, which is at least a little bit socially active, especially here in Midtown. So consider very carefully when they come in, they're going to get hit with all these clubs. These are called the Grady effect. And the kids get here and like, I'm in 5 clubs, Mom. It's like, that's not feasibly possible. You can't do that and keep up with the grades. How do you get through this process all 4 years, aiming right now, so the thing still remains enjoyable? They finish this place, walk across the stage, go, man, that was cool. I really had a good time in school. I really enjoyed this, as opposed to, oh, thank God that's over. Or at the end of the week, when they're crushed, they don't know how to sleep because their anxiety is kicking in because, oh my God, I have this much homework. And the pressure comes like, it's so much, and we see it on a level now that has been never recorded before. The amount of anxiety that comes in with the students because of these sorts of pressures, because of a lack of awareness of the whole child part. So keep that in mind when you go to schedule, when you look forward, not just to next year, but as the next 4. How do you get through it enjoying this process, collaborating in the process, dealing with the tactile in a way that most of the other classes are not able to do, right? Hopefully we'll lose the masks. Hopefully this other stuff will go away and return to normal, whatever that used to be or is going to be. And the arts are going to be the people who have the novel ideas to make it happen. In the past few years, there's something called the Posse Scholarship, which is a full ride to a very major university. People who win this award almost completely are deep participants in the arts. That can't be a mistake. It is part and parcel of being that kind of leader, that kind of civic global participant that we are here to foster. And so it's nice to make pretty pictures. It's nice to play fun music, but that's beside the point. It's the work, the tenacity that the colleges are looking for. If they're going to invest their money in this new student, if the employer is going to come in on the balance sheet of 2 people that are equal in every other way, but one person has a killer art portfolio, who would you hire? That's how I think about it. The whole child, the whole person. Who do you want to dance with? Who's going to be fun to solve these problems with? And that's what we're here to kind of train. So we're here to help support that. I think about this school with all of my heart. I've been here my entire career. And I'm so deeply interested in seeing your kids come. I love it. I love meeting them. But I love watching them go. Right? Blazing flames and rainbows behind them as they go. Right? With all that. So we're here to support anything they want to do. But that passion, that integrity has to be a part of it. So hit me up for anything about visual arts. I can talk for a long time about it. But thank you for being here. I look forward to working with you and your kids for the next few years.
All right, I'm not sure if this setup was made for me, but hopefully everyone's enjoying a live stream of my neck. My name is Patrick Johnson. I'm the athletic director here and also boys basketball coach. I'm also a Grady grad, and so I did the transition. I was Morningside Inman Grady. So if anyone wants to get advice on what it was like in 1998, I can help you out. I'm not sure how relevant it still is, but love being here. This is my 3rd year here back as a staff member. We have a lot, sort of in typical Midtown fashion, we have a lot to offer from an athletic standpoint. Over 25 teams total, GHSA varsity sports, also a number of club sports. And so there was definitely something for everybody to get involved in. I was proud that all 4 of our speakers were student athletes at some point. 2 are still active student athletes. 1 is a manager on the basketball team. So, that's obviously where my heart is. Grew up playing sports my entire life, been a part of teams my entire life. And I think it's an incredibly valuable part of growing up and moving on into whatever your kids decide to do as they go beyond high school. So my best advice, if you have kids that are interested in playing sports, is to kind of like Kate mentioned, to get involved now and start doing your homework now. There's a couple different ways to do that. I would suggest looking at our Midtown Athletics website as often as you can. We'll put up announcements for tryouts, team information, all that kind of stuff that you'll need to know. The nightly news is a big thing to follow. That's where you'll find everything Midtown, athletics included. So again, tryouts information, coaches' contacts, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of news will be in nightly news. You will start coming in as a 9th grade student athlete if they're playing a fall sport, right? So football, volleyball, softball, cheer, cross country. A lot of those tryouts start in the spring of their 8th grade year. And then you're going into summer workouts as well. And so that all gets rolling very quickly. So if you have kids who would like to do spring sports, or excuse me, fall sports, contacting the coach, getting involved with the program, getting your kid on their radar early is an important part of that, so that you don't miss any important dates and that kind of stuff. And again, the website's a great place for that, nightly news. And then my email, you can always reach out to me with any questions. So like Mr. Brandhorst said, this place means a lot to me personally. I've grown up with it and happy to be back, and really look forward to seeing the rest of you for the next 4+ years here. So thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Art Staten. I am the director of bands here at Midtown High School. I'm in my third year here. Haven't quite been here as long as Mr. Brainhorse. 22 years ago, I was probably playing on someone's playground somewhere. All right, but anyways, he summed up everything pretty much perfectly. That kind of I wanted to say, and just kind of piggyback on his coattails. He was talking about the Posse Scholarship, that really big prestigious scholarship. The person who won that scholarship last year was our high school drum major, Hollis Fluker. So he's not, fabricating or embellishing the truth there. When he talks about the importance of arts classes, it's one of the things that I am very passionate about in terms of students and kind of directing students and coaching them along. Probably the most influential person in my background is my high school band director, and kind of going into that, just seeing how important the arts have kind of shaped my life and kind of seeing what it's doing for the students as well. I think one of the things that always breaks my heart is hearing kids, wanting to quit band, orchestra, chorus because they feel like they have to do all these other things. And at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest things that I always promote for my program, I always tell my kids, how do you spell band? And they're like, B-A-N-D. I'm like, no, F-U-N, it's fun. High school needs to be fun. They need to enjoy it. When I look back on my high school time, yes, I took AP class, I took honors classes, I was in certain clubs. But high school was fun. Sometimes I see these kids and I'm just like, you're not having fun. Allow your children to have fun. Like let them, we're adults. We know what it feels like to wake up as soon as we open our eyes and feel anxiety until the time we close our eyes and still feel anxiety. They don't need to feel that at 14, 16 years old. So let's continue to push them in that way. So what we have to offer here, I teach several courses. I teach beginning, intermediate, and advanced band. What I love about being able to teach to beginners is that sometimes in middle school, children miss out on the opportunity. They don't really think they want to do it. And then sometimes they can miss out and they want to do it. So by ninth grade, they're able to get a restart opportunity. So we teach beginning level courses, both band, chorus, and orchestra. Even if you've never played an instrument, you don't know how to read music, we teach it. The students that I have now can read, can play, can do all of those things, same thing in orchestra and chorus. All the way up to the intermediate level. The intermediate and advanced bands are audition ensembles, just like for choir and orchestra. So they're not typically just placed in an ensemble based upon that. The way Ms. Davis does it for orchestra is that students that have prior experience typically go straight into the intermediate course unless they want to audition to get into the mastery course. She has beginning, intermediate, advanced, and mastery. I have beginning, intermediate, and advanced. I also teach beginning keyboard, which is really cool too. I think that's one of my favorite classes that I didn't expect to enjoy as much. That they threw on me when I got here, but it's actually really cool. Like the kids come in knowing nothing and they leave being able to play like true full keyboard music, which is really important. We also have beginning guitar, advanced level guitar, intermediate guitar as well. We are really hoping to get our AP music theory class off the ground. That class is really important. The way we kind of structure our program and really speaking for myself is that there's a place for everyone in our programs. There's a place for the kid who just enjoys playing music. There's a place for the kid who wants to grow up and one day go teach band or go be the next Wynton Marsalis out there. And so for AP Music Theory, that course is really important because you don't want to be that person that shows up to meet freshman college music theory and draws their note stems backwards and all that stuff. Okay, not speaking from experience. So really, really important to do that. That teaches you the fundamentals, all of those things. Aside from the actual courses that I teach during the day, we also have jazz band, which meets every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 5 after school. And then in the fall, we have marching band. You've probably seen us around marching midnight, all that great stuff. So that's what we do during the fall. It aligns with football season. The kids love it. I would say that if your kids are in music right now, please, please, please don't let them drop. Don't let them drop. Okay. Every year it's like we lose kids because they just want to go try other things, do other things, and it's cool. Yes, I understand you want to try those things, but keep them in the music classes. That is educating the whole child. And if your child is not in music, encourage them to do it. We have beginning opportunities for them to do that. And like I said, it's a wonderful thing. It makes their experience here at Midtown really a great thing. So my email is up there. You can email me if you have questions for the other directors. Their emails are on the on the Midtown faculty directory. And we look forward to seeing your students here in a few months. Thank you.
Oh, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? You doing good? Maintaining with us? All right, you're almost done, guys. All right, my name is Sergeant Major Marcus Fisher. I'm retired, and I'm coming to Midtown actually from Washington, D.C. So I spent roughly 10 years up there working between the Pentagon and Capitol Hill. So coming to Midtown High School, I'm like, hey, it's just like working in D.C. without politicians, right? Hey, everyone's acting like teenagers, you know? So that's my little hint and try to, you know, joke out you guys. But the JROTC is a congressionally mandated and funded program. And I want to emphasize that point because that speaks volumes, because Congress sees such an effort that's placed in the JROTC to where it's voted on each year through what's called the National Defense Authorization Act, where there's a line item placed on each year where the House and the Senate votes on appropriating and funding our program. So it's very essential and a key component program that's lined into what our motto is, which is what? To teach students to be better citizens. Okay, and we all see a need for that this day and time, correct? All right, so that's what we're centered around, this what we're focused on. And what we try to pride ourselves on in developing what's called like a tribe over there within the JROTC program. So we build a family culture amongst the cadets. So we have a 4-year program. So we receive your cadets as 9th graders, and we grow them throughout our program till they graduate to their senior years. And I know when teachers mentioned that she's a Swiss Army knife, I can honestly say that we're definitely Swiss Army knives because we cover a full gamut of subjects within the JROTC program. We have a myriad of teams and programs for your kids to participate in. And I like to list a couple of those. We teach robotics. You know, so we have a robotics team here within the core foundation of Midtown, but we also teach it over at JROTC department. We also teach what's called J-Lab, which is a leadership and academic goal, where we have teams that compete and go to Washington, D.C. and compete at the national level. We also have what's called a drill team, which is kind of the foundational thing when you think about military and JROTC, where we're teaching them the basic components of drill and ceremony. But it's also teaching them some key aspects when we talk about for as discipline, you know, working as a team, as a unit. Those are some of the key components that we focus on within the JROTC department. Also, we have a rifle team. So we're not teaching kids to be, go out here shooting or anything like that, but we're teaching them the concepts and the discipline of actually firing rifles. Then we also have a Raiders team. So the Raiders team is what you typically think about, where you get dressed in camouflage, they put a little camo on their face and they go out there and perform things on obstacle courses, right? You know, so the kids really love that, to go get dirty in the mud and everything, and working as a team and helping each other, because within the Raiders teams, you have to work as a team. There's no I in team, especially when it comes to some of our events and the things that we perform. Now, one key thing that we're going to be starting for you all that's coming in, incoming freshmen starting next year, where I mentioned that the JROTC program is not just focused on teaching kids how to march and we just barking and yelling at them all day. We're a full gamut, full-fledged program on academics. So we're building out a full-fledged STEM programs and high-level technology. So when you think about it, we're going to be teaching your kids about cybersecurity. We're teaching about drones, you know, those type of things, teaching about cloud engineering and computing. So we're teaching the full gamut. Okay, so definitely don't shy away from the ROTC department. Take a look at what we're offering them. And we have a very robust and rigorous program. So please have your kids take a look at us. That's all I have. Thank you.
Hey, they say the best department for last. Okay. Hi, I'm Ms. Tanner, and I'm the department chair for CTAE, and that stands for Career, Technology, and Agricultural Education. So basically in this department, we're teaching your children, we're preparing your children for careers. A major part of the curriculum includes employability skills and career readiness skills. So we're teaching your kids how to do resumes, cover letters. We're teaching them how to apply for a job, how to quit a job. You don't just walk off and stomp off, you know, teaching them when you leave, you need to do this. After you leave your interview, this is what you do. But each program in our department basically submerges the kids in learn by doing activities. So we're not just gonna say, you know, here's a bulletin board, here's the chalk, and you just go for it. No, we actually put the kids in different scenarios where they are able to create, build, demonstrate, execute things in, and I'm gonna read off our departments, because I think this is, when I first got here, I was like, this department is the best department. And sorry, I keep saying that. But I'm saying that because it's actually teaching your kids how to get ready for a career. I mean, yes, we can do a lot of things, but when you get ready to go into the workforce, the programs such as audio, video, technology, and film, we have an actual program where the students produce their own television show that is aired weekly, and that is called Night View. Technology is starting to become a part of everything. So we're phasing out entrepreneurship and bringing in FinTech, and that's financial technology education. So your children could learn how to not only about business, but how to use technology in business. Because when your child knows how, just because your child knows how to find a YouTube video does not mean they are tech savvy. Okay, so, and that's what I have to explain to a lot of kids. And even in my class, the kids will say, can I check my email? And they grab their phone. I'm like, no, use the desktop computer. And they want to play a lot of games. But I always tell my children that we're trying to make you producers, not consumers. We know you have consuming everybody's game, everybody's program online, but can you produce something so that you can get paid? And that's what we're trying to do with the students. We have marketing and communications, and we have engineering. We have 2 engineering programs. One is engineering drafting, which is more geared towards 3D modeling. And the other one is the traditional engineering program. And then we have sports and entertainment marketing. And finally, we have my department, which is web and digital design. And in my program, we start with intro to digital technology. And in this class, they learn about, like this week and next week, we've been doing Python 101. So they're learning the syntax of Python, which is a coding language. I had them to actually shop for a computer. I gave them a simulation where they actually had they won a grant, and they had to fulfill the grant. And they were like, some kids were finished and like, well, my thing was, my total is $1,000. I'm like, nope, because if you get a grant and you don't spend that money, they're not gonna give you that money again. So that's the type of things we're doing. And every program has a CTSO. What is a CTSO? That is a career technology student organization. So we have FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, and I'm the advisor for that. And we are very heavy on service, competitive events, and just basically preparing the students for events where they are amongst other children, like-minded. I personally love FBLA. Like, I am like, everybody calls me queen of FBLA. I'm sorry, but I love it because it goes from middle school. You can do it in college and high school. So you can, and there's a professional level too. So you can build a professional network all the way from high school, all the way up through college. Then we have DECA, that's for the marketing. We have Skills USA, that is for our audio visual program. And we have DECA. And I want to tell you that DECA has a big part because it's marketing, sports management, entertainment. Well, we have a school store. Our school store will finally be opening. We got a new school store, and they're going to have the students running the school store. So I just want to thank you so much for coming and waiting for the last person. Yay! Oh, then we had a long discussion. We want to add construction. So that's the new program we have on the rise. I'm really excited about that because you have students who need to work with their hands, but we want to prepare them for a career as well. You can do construction, but maybe you want to have your own business. So that's the part about the CTAE department that I think sometimes gets slept on. And I'm saying that because there's so much to offer in the CTAE department, the programs. We're really working hard to make sure that the kids are prepared for not just a college situation, but a career. So we do have in February, I want to invite you, if you are available, for February, we're going to have CTAE month. Every week, we're going to do activities for the students. We're having people coming in doing interviews, mock interviews, teaching them how to do a resume, teaching them how to dress, financial literacy. We're trying to just make sure that CTAE month, the children really have a greater understanding and appreciation and the community for our department. So that's it. Thank you. Have a great one.
Okay, my turn back up with all the boring stuff after you've listened to all of our phenomenal teachers talk about all the different programs. They do such a great job. So now we're going to get back to the boring stuff, but important. So again, registration, not optional. It is required. So please understand, pathway is one thing, registration is another. You must do this. And typically for APS students, we typically have your registration dates around March. If you're coming from outside, that's typically in June, okay? And dates will be posted. Hopefully when we have our January meeting, it's like later in January, we will have those dates and be able to give you those dates. Failure to register your student will impact your child's classes and selections, just like Malachi said. So pathway elective selection timeline, this is just so that you can kind of put this on your radar. Friday the 21st, it opens at 8 p.m. And again, it doesn't matter if you're coming from a different school, if you're not part of Howard, if you're not part of Centennial, Kendesi, if you are not part of one of our feeder schools, if you're in a private school, you can still do the pathway. So please know that. And then it will close on the 4th. This is just so that we have some kind of sequence so that we can begin working on your child's schedules. Thank you again for attending. Again, most important, the one-stop shop is that all-in-one. Mr. Vincent again created that last year. It is phenomenal. There is nothing that you won't be able to find on there. Again, as a reminder, go to Midtown, the main website, hover on parents and students. You will see it immediately. Click on it and it will have everything that you need. Our next meeting is January 19th. Well, no, that's not. Your next meeting is January the 20th, 6:30 to 8, right here in the auditorium. Your students will be coming over on the 19th from about 9:30 to 11:30. They will hear from students and teachers. They will get a tour of the building. So it's a great time for your kids to come over and really feel the school. Very important. And then, of course, we will give you more information about the pathway selection, registration, and all that stuff. What we try to do is we try to walk you through this whole transition process, baby steps. We just try to give you a little bit at a time. But the most important piece that we wanted to share with you tonight, this is important, but we really wanted you to hear from our teachers so that you can really see and feel the dedication, what they do with our students. They are amazing. There was nobody here that they don't go the extra mile for our students. And that's the most important thing to hear. And we have an amazing support staff. Every program here in Midtown is wonderful. So again, it's so important that we just let you guys know what we do here and what we do for the students, most importantly. So at this point, I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Botman to potentially close us out, but we can have a brief question and answer session if you have any pressing questions.
Don't want to keep you too late because if your child's in chorus, you know you have to be there at 7:30 in the morning, right? Chorus practice rehearsal, 8th grade. Ms. Hill, is nobody in, there you go, 7:30, so we have to get up early. What questions do you have that, you know, all these teachers, they could have said so much more. I'm sitting there going, but you do this, you do this, you do this. Ms. Fuller, she would never brag. She started the AP Computer Science program 3 years ago, working with Georgia Tech very closely. They came over and partnered. That's a huge thing. We went from one very small class to 3 full classes now. Amazing, amazing. All these teachers teach multiple classes and they do it really well. Ms. Filipata didn't talk about the Lit Mag, but that's a huge part of our the communications is not necessarily a pathway because it's not recognized by CTAE, but huge numbers of kids. And Coach Johnson was in that, the journalism, the Southerner, the Lit Mag, all those kind of things. There's so much more that they could have talked about. And I'm really, really proud of them. Miss Tanner, who closed this out, she used to be the course teacher at Inman. And I brought her over here with me after I've been here a couple of years. And I said, you know, what do you really want to do? And she talked about starting a digital design. And I, you know, I mean, and she's just blown this thing up. Now she's the department chair. She does the FBLA. She takes the kids everywhere. They're nationally known, FBLA. It's an amazing thing at the school. It really is with what we offer. It's we offer 28 AP classes, which is huge. We try to keep class sizes small, especially for, you know, just your regular algebra class, your 9th grade lit class. We try to keep those classes small. By small, I mean like 22 in a class, something like that. I put a lot of money into teachers, buying teachers, so that the class sizes are small. Mr. Wharton's classes are large. He's got 180, in case of 186 classes, 30, about 30 kids in class. But so, question.
Yeah, you mentioned students will get to tour the building on the 19th. Do we get to tour at some point?
You really don't. I don't think so that. So the students do get that. Our Beta Club does an excellent job, and they take the kids around the entire campus. What I can tell you is when you come in January, we will begin our meeting in here just like we did, and again highlight the most important things. And then we typically, you know, it's just all with COVID, just making sure we're maintaining whatever restrictions we have. But typically we have then our clubs and activities and athletics, they typically set up out here in the lobby and then over in the cafeteria. So you will get to see the cafeteria and the multi-purpose room, certainly. But then in August, you'll get to come in August because there's, we allow students to come in before school starts. It's our open house and parents. So that's another opportunity where you will get to be able to walk the building.
Yes.
I have a quick question. If my child is in 9th grade physical science at Howard, how does that fit in with, you said that 9th graders all have to take biology?
That is correct. And if they are in the physical science high school course and they take the end of course test for the physical science, they will earn a full credit for that course. And so what that does is that will alleviate physics. It takes the place, but I will say this, a lot of our students go on and take AP physics and other courses, but it does meet that requirement.
So then in their junior year, which is when most kids take physics, they could take AP biology, astronomy, oceanography. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do. Yes.
Question regarding registration is we have to submit any documentation online, or is that something we do physically?
We've done it online for the last couple of years. I'm sure we'll continue doing that. And we start that in March, basically.
You have to register before you pick your pathway?
What I can tell you is no, because the pathway selection takes place in January. What I will tell you though, is you can do that pathway selection all day long. If we are not able to match it up with the registration, which is what we try to do, that's where it would impact your child. Registration typically for students who are in our feeder pattern or in an APS school, it will take place typically, and they just haven't put the dates out yet, but it's typically in March. If you're coming from outside APS, then that registration typically takes place in June.
How big is the school?
Like how many students? It's like, we got lost trying to find.
1540 right now.
And how many of those are ninth graders?
Close to 400, maybe 390.
Close.
I'm sorry, of the current ninth graders?
I think we're a little bigger than
Yeah,
that.
right about 400 right now. It'll be about the same next year. There's a question here. Yeah.
They will. We will have individuals in here. They'll come in here just like you all did, and they'll get a presentation. And then we also have our band, and we do all kinds of fun stuff for them as well. And then they take a tour, but they will definitely get to know. But again, what I'm going to say to you and encourage your students, go to the all-in-one, because on there is a ton of information. There's videos, and it really breaks it down to what those pathways really are.
We do have a basketball game Friday night that students are, and you all are welcome to come to. Love to have you come. It's girls and boys basketball. We're doing some homecoming spirit week activities also as well. So it's a good game. We're hoping to have like the Howard basketball teams come, the Howard cheerleaders come, you know, just to do a community thing. So y'all are welcome to come. It'd be great for you to experience a little bit of that. Yes. The social security?
Security in the building, like our security.
We have 2 school resource officers, and we have cameras all over the place. And it's a very safe campus. We've never had an intruder come in or anything like that. But is there anything specific more that you'd like to know?
So in the morning, students come through the cafeteria. That is their typical entrance, or they have another entrance that they can come into. But the doors, once school is in session, the doors are open, but there are adults throughout the building. And again, we do have the cameras, we do have SROs. I will tell you that if you're coming from, and you're not a student or a staff member, you do come in through the main entrance, and you have to be buzzed in, and you still, when you come in that front entrance, you come in and you have to go into the office before you can get into the actual building.
Yes.
If they end up registering for student registers for pathways successfully, and then in March they register for school and they match up, and they assume that they're in that pathway.
So
Do they get in their pathway if they register and do the pathway?
I mean, typically, yes. Yes.
They should, okay.
Yep.
Yes, the ones that fill up pretty quickly are the arts, like the intro to art, those 9th grade classes. Art is very popular. Photography, I should say those are the ones that sometimes, I mean, there's room. I mean, the ones that don't get in are those that wait till like August 1st to register. You know, it's just not possible.
And that's when we have issues, like, and you'll see that if you do the process as we walk you through it, your students are pretty much going to get what they want. Like Dr. Rotman said, it's the people or the students that come in July and August that once those classes are full, they're full.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, my student is coming from outside of district. So in terms of the visit on the 19th, would we just show up at the school at 9:30 or how?
No, please don't do that because they will get lost in the shuffle. So what I do ask you to do is if you are coming from outside, you need to make contact with me. And I would suggest you go ahead and do that now. And I can write you down and your student's name, and I will give you a designated place to enter where I will meet you. Then we will take your student and incorporate them, and then your student will then be brought back to the main office to be picked up by you.
Yes. Very organized process. Very organized. Okay, well, if that's all, thank you for coming. And again, the all-in-one, look at the all-in-one, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
And the live stream will be posted on the all-in-one page. Yep.
So registration is optional.
No. Yes, as soon as I am able to figure out how to end this,